Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group number 2 from class IC2204D. We'll present to all of you our presentation, which is the Halal Jakim Sirim guidelines for halal products in Malaysia. Before we start our presentation for today, I would like to introduce our group members, which is begin from Ahmad Iskandar bin Syahriza, Afizakwan bin Osman, myself, Mio Alif Haikal bin Muhammad Asrat, and last but not least, Muhammad Aidi Akmal bin Muhammad Zamri. As you can see, this is our table of content, which is we will begin from introduction, research of the objectives, discussion and analysis, and we will end it with conclusion.
So the first is the Industrial Revolution 4.0. The Industrial Revolution 4.0 is an ongoing and evolving revolution by emphasizing aspect of the use of new technologies as well as aspect of self-service facilities in the manufacturing and marketing products. Halal industry players need to adapt to new technologies to remain advanced and competitive. The failure of companies and industries during Industrial Revolution 3.0, it is because cannot adapt with new technologies. Many of them involved in fail because they are not prepared well for the rapid world changes and economic transformation that is taking place globally. So there is no denying that potential of the halal logistic industry and supply chain is growing, and it is important and relevant industry in Malaysia, and the ASEAN countries must be involved in this revolution. The fact must we know that the Muslim population covers 28% of the world's population. Alright, for the halal industry is an industry that plays a very important role both locally and globally. This is because we can see the importance Malaysia and also the world is very dominant. Among them, Malaysia is one of the reporting countries for the halal industry with more than 40 years experience in developing and stabilizing in halal industry. The halal industry is very helpful in the survival of the people. It is because the halal industries open up and provide a lot of employment opportunities to the people. Based on the studies and statistics, by 2030, the halal market at the level is expected to be able reach up until 5.0 trillion USD. From it, it can be seen the place of the area contributes the most of the global halal market is in the area Asia Pacific, with a value reaching in 2.8 trillion USD by 2030.
Research objectives. As you can see, we have 4 research objectives. Number 1, to find out the rules of halal and sirim logos on halal food products. Second, we want to identify the process for halal food products to obtain halal certification from Jakim. Our third objective is to identify the function of sirim in the process of halal food products. And last but not least, our fourth objective is to investigate issues and challenges that arise with respect to halal food products and remedial measures for the issue that arise. Discussion and analysis. Number 1, the roles of Halal Jakim and Sirim logos on the halal food products. The first role is that it aims to increase consumer confidence to buy this halal food product in the market. This is because according to the Sirim labeling rules regarding food products that are not standardized elsewhere, namely under Rule 395 regarding the halal logo from Jakim and the Sirim logo, among the details that needs to be placed on food packaging other than the brand and product logo, product name, ingredient list and other labels. This is because consumer will be more confident with a product sold in the market because the seller has complied with the hygiene and safety standards of the product for any danger and through a strict process before the halal food product is brought into the market. Apart from that, the second role of the Halal Jakim and Sirim logos on this halal food product is that it is a social contribution to consumers in Malaysia. This is because although the application for Jakim Halal certificate is not mandatory, and voluntary, but it is an obligation to provide clean and pure food to the Malaysian community, and it is also an obligation for Islamic business operators in Malaysia in providing halal food products in fulfilling the demands of Fardu Kifayah to Muslims. It is also give assurance to consumers that the product has gone through a very careful and responsible process before it is marketed to consumers, either in supermarket, shopping mall, splits and so on. This is because the process implemented in the factory by the manufacturer needs to have a specific and orderly plan in processes starting from the receipt of raw materials, manufacturing process, preparation, packaging and delivery. Next, the third role of the Jakim Sirim halal logos in halal food product is to facilitate local authorities or PPT and other parties to monitor halal food products in the market. This is because when these products companies use the Jakim Sirim logos, this will make them more compliant and follow all the guidelines set by the authorities, whether from Jakim, Sirim or other regulatory organizations. If there are matters or issues such as hygiene, cleanliness or issues regarding industry standards that occur on their halal food products, they will always seek advice and expertise from the authorities and will take action quickly and effectively. This is to ensure that their halal food products will always be bought and used by consumers who have used their product for a long time, and to always be sensitive to things that can adversely affect the company, especially to their halal food products sold in the market.
I will discuss about a second point in our presentation, which is a halal food procedure to obtain a halal certificate. So there are two types of condition of application, which is eligible application apply and ineligible application apply. So eligible application apply is the first list is the business must register under the Company Commission of Malaysia. The secondly is the business must have a license or approval from the local authority. So the third is the business must have been running for at least 3 months, and the fourth is the business produce a halal product and the name of the company product menu or related to the business must not contain the word halal. So next is about ineligible application apply, which is the first is the product or menu from the business is not halal. So the secondly is company name, product or menu have a name similar to non-halal things like bacon, beer or others. So the third is the business release a negative impact to the consumer like food or the business content or having a drug. So the last is a factory or place of manufacture of product or food that are mixed with the illegal substance. So the next part is we must know when we want to apply a halal certificate, we must know there are a specific certification requirement according to the scheme, which is a different basic and also a management responsibility. So we go through the about different basic, which is there are three different we must know, which is the first is certification must comply with MS 1500 2009 halal food production, preparation, handling and storage general guidelines second revision. The next is Food Act 1983, Food Regulation 1985 and Food Hygiene Regulation 2009. So the last thing or the last reference is Fatwa Committee of the National Council for Islamic Religious Affairs. The next is about management responsibility, which is have 4 category. First is a multinational category, second is a medium industry category, second is small industry category, and the last is a micro industry category. So the multinational and medium industry category have a same management responsibility, which is the first is the applicant must have established and an internal halal committee. The next is the applicant also must appoint a halal executive, and the third is the applicant must appoint a minimum of 2 permanent Muslim employee, and the employee must Malaysian citizen and also work full time in food processing. So the last is the applicant must establish a halal assurance system with refer to ACIS 2011. So we are going to do the small industry category, which is there are 2 management responsibility, which is the first is the applicant must appoint a permanent Muslim supervisor, and the supervisor must Malaysian citizen, and the second is the applicant must appoint a minimum of 1 permanent Muslim employee and work full time in the food handling division. So the lastly is micro industry category, which is they have a 1 management responsibility, which is the applicant must appoint a minimum of 1 Muslim employee who has a permanent position and work full time in the food processing division. So now we are going to the part of application form, which is there are several things we must know and we must fill in the application form, which is first is a company profile, second is a name and description of product or menu to be certified, the third is ingredient use, and the fourth is a name and address of manufacturer or supplier of ingredient, and the 5 is a halal status of ingredient with halal certificate, and number 6 is a type of packaging material, and number 7 is a production process and procedure, number 8 is other documents like HACCP, ISO or others, and the lastly is a map of a location of the premise or factory. So now we are going to the last part of this point, which is audit by the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia. So the factory or processing place will be audited by a responsible party, such as Malaysian Islamic Development Department. So there are 2 type of audit, which is adequacy audit and also field audit. So the adequacy audit is audit that determine whether the document related to halal certification are complete in a place. So meanwhile, the field audit is will be managed by 2 officers to monitor the area. So there are several items that will audited by the responsible party, which is a company profile, raw material, registered product or menu, tools, also employee. So the audit is important because Department Islamic Development Malaysia want to confirm whether the business of the place has reached the required level. So in case or if anything is not comply, it will recorded as non-compliant report, and it should be resolved according to the time.
Alright, for my part, I would like to share you guys about the role of Sirim in production process of halal food product. Alright, as we know that halal certification also emphasize the concept Tayyiban or comprehensive concept that should be applied in food processing and handling. Therefore, Sirim took an initiative to create a program which named Green Blue Packaging Program, in short form GB. What is Green Blue Packaging Program? It is an innovative packaging technology that combines biodegradation and resource recovery concept to support environmental and business sustainability. In this initiative, it is not only teach the various features required in packaging, but also teach the labeling features set to meet local demand as well as export. Right, from this program, it is gave a lot of good impact. At first, program give improvement of the economy and living standards. Also improve knowledge and skills. As example, it is improve the skills of marketing, packaging, entrepreneurship and product quality improvement. Alright, the third is the development and improvement of entrepreneurial product market. And the last is there are added value to manufactured product through improvement in the design and functionality, packaging, also certification of premise towards halal certification. So
halal products are very important in Islam because the care of halal food can maintain the well-being and purity of Muslims. However, to ensure the quality of halal product, there are challenges that need to be faced in a halal certification. So, the first is the lack of a halal act in Malaysia that cannot be applied to the rest of the world is a challenge that need to be faced in Malaysian halal certification. So, the question of halal in the constitution become an obstacle to the enactment of the Halal Act. So, this also happened when the enactment of the Halal Act was not implemented due to fear of constitution issue. Therefore, there is a solution to this problem, which is to improve the existing Halal Act law to reduce controversy. So, for example, the Malaysian government has repealed the Trade Distribution Act 1972 to the Trade Act 2011. So, with the repeal, it can help Jakim and Ma'in to have power in controlling halal product. So, the next challenge is that the enability of the efficient and effective marketing in halal product will lead to economic collapse of the halal industry. This is due to the increased population of Muslims, which will affect the manufacture to produce halal product. So, therefore, there are brands available in Malaysia that do not show Islamic or halal characteristics that cause doubt to Muslims. Therefore, to ensure more effective halal marketing, the government must establish an agency that specializes in the halal industry. So, it will help promote halal products for entrepreneurs and consumers, such as Halal Development Corporation (HDC), which this agency can hold a national and international program that can encourage foreigners to get to know halal product. So, the last challenge in halal certification is the falsification of halal certificate by some food product companies. It occurs by making use of the trademark without the permission of the authorities. Moreover, with the forgery of such certificate, they consider their business in good condition with no loss. So, to ensure that the forgery of halal certificate continues to happen, the authorities should visit the company once every 6 months so that the ingredients used are in actual quantities. So, this is done to prevent the use of illegal resource so that the company can maintain the well-being of the Muslim. In conclusion, having the Sirim and Jakim logos can provide great benefit to Muslim consumer. Furthermore, the processing done by Sirim and Jakim can give confidence to Muslim consumer. So, the care of halal certification is not easily taken care of by the authorities. So, the operators must follow the rules that have been set so that the issue of halal certification does not occur.
That's all from our group. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.